Hey there, welcome to the Growing Gardener YouTube channel. I'm Lena. I'm an artist, wife of Joel, mother to Max and Dora, and first-year gardener. I'm also a Southern California home renter, so please forgive our dirt backyard. It's April 22nd, 2020, and you're about to come on my very first garden tour. So come on, let's see what's growing. Over here against this hill, we have two beds that were here when we moved in from previous renters. And I've been having difficulty with the soil in each of these beds. So this spring, I invested in some used garden beds and some brand new soil. And this is my little setup, my little oasis. Not much going on here at the moment. Down there is a pink dandelion. I have some Cal Wonder peppers here, waiting for some warm weather so they can take off. In the back are some sunflowers that, other than a little bird damage, seem to be doing really well. Right here is a butternut squash. Some volunteer potato plants that I think I need to take out. Here's some flowers that I have started, but I'm keeping them in this fenced area to protect them from rabbits, because I happen to know that they're a tasty treat to the rabbits around our property. Here's a petunia that I bought last summer in a pot. It survived the whole winter and is still flowering. And maybe it'll reseed itself and make a beautiful accent to our garden. Right here are some very sad pea plants. They really started taking off the beginning of the year, and my daughter and son absolutely love to come out here and pick the peas and munch on them in the garden. So it'll be sad, but I'm going to take it out in a few days and make room for some more summer things. The weather is supposed to get up in the 80s and even 90s this coming week. It just snapped. Here in Southern California, it just snapped straight from 65 and chilly and rainy and 45-degree nights to 90-degree days. It didn't give us any transition. Down here is another pepper and some green onions that I bought from the store but didn't get around to eating, so I thought I'd plant them out here to give them a second chance at life. Down here is a nasturtium. Over here is my experimental bed. I think that the colors of this multicolor lettuce and the purples combined with that teal bird bath are so pretty. I'll have to remember that for next year. The lettuce I transplanted it over here out of a barrel that I wanted to use for some watermelons, so I put it over here 5 days ago. And within a few days, I discovered that the aphids had found it. They'd been leaving it alone in the barrel that I had it, but as soon as I put it over here, it got a bunch of fat aphid visitors, and not good for my little lettuce. I got some more sunflowers growing there in the back, protected by a temporary little piece of chicken wire. Got to get something more permanent set up, but as you can see, the birds like to nibble the leaves. I have some purple basil Excuse my shadow. Some purple basil. Here is a Sweet William flower. It's doing well. Also has some bird damage. But I purposefully planted these in pots in the house and let them get really established before I put them in the garden in case that the birds wanted to eat their leaves. Now they're more able to handle a little nibbling. Oh, isn't that beautiful in the sun? This one especially has a weird thing going on with its leaf. Oh, see that? No bugs. It's just twisted and mangled, growing weird. Isn't this lettuce beautiful in the sunlight? This little bird bath was a birthday gift to myself. I think it's so cute. My daughter woke up, and my son, so might have a few distractions. But here is my smaller garden bed. My hope and dreams are to put a little chair in here to sit, and then next year I'll put in a good gate instead of this piece of chicken wire, and have a trellis of some sort going over it so I can sit among my plants. More pea? I think we're all done. We're gonna eat them all and then we're gonna take the plants out. Do you want them to go bye-bye? Here we have a bucket of carrots with a worm bin in the middle. I'll do a separate video on that soon. And then here's some green onions. And over here I have some celery. It's growing very slowly. Over here I've got a bed of spinach with another green onion from the store. I'm trying to find places for them all in the bag. Over here we have some red onions that are supposed to be a bulbing variety. I planted these in February, maybe the end of January, and they're just starting to look like they're taking off a little bit. Over here I have kale, strawberries, cute little alyssum flower, here I have a tomato that I planted in mid-January indoors. I didn't realize how quickly they grew, and it struggled through some cold nights, and now it's starting to warm up, so it's going to do much better. But it was harvested from the seeds of a heirloom cherry tomato that I bought at the grocery store. So I don't know exactly what variety it is, but it looked like a miniature Paul Robeson, kind of a brownish red color. It'll be interesting to see what it produces. Here's some purple basil. It's hard to see against the soil. And some basil. Here's a Sugar Rush peach pepper. Here's my broccoli. I think this is about all we're going to get out of broccoli because it's going to be 80 degrees next week, and broccoli is a cool weather plant. But I'm happy to have any kind of a head because this is my first year. Now what I haven't done before is let a broccoli go to seed, and that's what I think I'm going to do with this, because it didn't produce a very good head anyway, and it's probably going to bloom soon. Over here we have some more strawberries. Quinault. They're supposed to be ever-bearing here in Southern California, and I've already been getting some strawberries off of them. Here's a Paul Robeson tomato, what's left of it. I planted it last June and it survived the whole winter here in Southern California. It made some fruit for me around Christmas time and was starting to flower and grow again, but the stem got so thin and shrivelly looking that I decided to take off all the healthy growth on the top. It was so big and tall and bushy that it was starting to flop over and get really top heavy. So I took some cuttings from it to try to propagate some new plants, and I'll show you those later. On this side we just have a symmetrical pattern from over here. Broccoli and kale, more broccoli and kale, and then in the back we've got some more tomatoes. This one is another grocery store tomato. I think it's either red or yellow cherry tomato, I'm not sure which. And then here is a St. Pierre tomato. These were all planted indoors in mid-January. So down here is, I planted a peanut, hasn't come up yet. This is lemon balm. Just a minute, I gotta go save my daughter in a second. And down there is a dill. It's so pretty at this time of day. You're in your pajamas. It's wet, huh? As I mentioned before, my attempt is to make what I can of a little oasis in the middle of our dirt yard, and I really want it to be something that the kids can enjoy too. So in front of their little playhouse I have 2 barrels that I bought at Walmart. These are laundry barrels that only costed about $5, and I drilled holes in the bottom. They hold 17 gallons of soil, and last year I was able to plant a pumpkin in each one, a miniature pumpkin, and they did all right. So I know that they hold enough soil for large plants. So this year I planted a sugar baby bush watermelon and I put these homemade trellises. They were free to me because the fencing was on the property already from previous tenants, and I just wrapped it up and made like a hoop or a tower for the bush watermelon to grow up. And then I also planted Malabar spinach, and that's what I really think is going to grow over this trellis part. I don't think it's sturdy enough to hold a watermelon, and I don't think the watermelon will get that tall anyway, so I think that'll work out all right. I also have some kale and some morning glories planted in here. I plan on putting some chairs there between the barrels for the kids to sit under a plant and look at the wildflowers. I have some wildflowers planted over here. I planted them around February in hopes that they would have some time to bloom. I have some bird netting to keep the birds from eating their leaves off. I think I could probably take it off soon because they're pretty well established. But the real question is, will we get blooms before the hot weather kills them? I really hope so, because if they do get a chance to bloom, they can reseed themselves. And if not, I'll have to replant them again next year. Having not gotten any flowers off of this batch of seeds, which would be really sad. They're doing so well right now. So over here is the remains of my Paul Robeson tomato that I was telling you about that lasted through the winter. I chopped it all up and tried to save the new growth and the suckers to make new plants. See that? Likes to focus up in the corner. See that little root there? So all was not lost. It is working very slowly. Over here I have some peppermint. Don't know what's up with this one. It's purple and white. This one's doing well. And then some more lemon balm. And some cilantro, which is just starting to do well, just in time for the hot weather to try to kill it. I think I'm gonna take this in the house. Well, that about does it for the April 2020 garden tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, as well as maybe some arts and crafts videos every once in a while, then please hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time on The Growing Gardener. Bye!
I am her son, and my name is Max. And usually, I help her garden, and we grew some beautiful plants.
Yeah, what is your favorite plant that we've grown? The strawberries?
The strawberries, yeah.
Do you like to eat them?
Yeah.
And what's Dora's favorite?
Cherry tomatoes.
And peas?
And big tomato and peas. And green beans. And she doesn't like fish. And she likes strawberries too.
And why do you have a Band-Aid on your nose?
Because I got a sick and it got my eyebrow, and then the eyebrow hit my nose to get the Band-Aid on. Mom, the video is over!